is your knowledge base regarding herbs? Because we want to set the record straight of why they should listen to you. Hey, puppy.
God.
That's the real boss,
Yes.
huh?
Millie, her name is Millie. So what is my background, or where
Yes.
my information comes from, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I use two herbs in two different ways, or I combine them. They're complementary to each other. One is how I was trained as an Ayurvedic physician. So we use herbal medicines, and herbal medicines are used in a very particular way. Mostly it is polypharmacy. Polypharmacy means where we use more than 5 herbs in one single formulation. And Ayurvedic formulations include 5, 10, 15, 20 herbs sometimes in one formula.
Right.
And these are classical preparations. They're called classical Ayurvedic preparations that I use in what I prescribe to my patients. I also use single herbs, and single herbs are mostly used by Western herbalists.
Mm.
So because I'm trained as a Western herbal medicine practitioner as well, so we use then one single herb, or at maximum 5 herbs in one medicine, which is mainly tincture based. So this is alcohol based preparations that we use. So
Okay.
that's my base to what I use, how I use my herbs, and I've been obviously using them for last 30 years. I've used them for myself. I use it for my kids, even since they were babies. They are herbal babies because they always used herbs. And
Good.
that's how I prescribe to my patients.
Okay, great. And I think that this is an interesting concept that you don't very much hear in the Western world, which is the word prescription with herbs. Like when we think prescription, it's all like medical. So what does it mean when you say prescribe herbs?
Wow. To me, that's a new thing that you don't have that idea, right?
No.
Because herbal medicines, every single plant has got chemicals in it, yeah, which we call phytochemicals.
Hmm.
So those phytochemicals have to be very carefully prescribed. You cannot use herbs just randomly, because every herb has an action on your system. Rather, herbs have more actions on each and every part of your body. Every single herb, let's say you're using lavender, right? So
Hmm.
you're using those parts of lavender. Each part of that might have 20, 30, 40, 50 different chemicals in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So all those chemicals are working synergistically. They balance each other. That's how why we use whole plant medicines, which is
Hmm.
the key difference between what you find over the counter. When you go and buy, for example, so many people use St. John's wort, which they use it's an antidepressant medication that so many people use as a mood enhancer. And
Hmm.
it is available over the counter. Now, St. John's wort that people are using over the counter has only one single chemical in it,
Okay.
whereas the plant has 50, 60, 200 chemicals in it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's a completely different format to use. And that is why herbs do not have those kind of side effects, because they synergistically balance each other,
Hmm.
even within the same plant. And then there are certain plants which are used, for example, in Ayurveda, those plants have been used for centuries together.
Okay.
So they know that they can be used together, they enhance each other's functioning, and that's how they are more effective. So these are the real in-depth things that we do with the plants, and plant medicine is what it is. It is phytomedicine, what I
Yeah.
practice. So there is a prescription of herbal medicines. So you cannot just take herbs, and even if you are whatever people doing for recreation purposes as well, you're using them because plants have chemicals and they have a specific effect on specific parts of your body.
I love that. I think that's so important because it sets you apart, like as an herbalist who can prescribe. It makes it make sense why you would work with an herbalist, why you would purchase herbs from an herbalist opposed from over the counter, especially on your fertility journey,
Yeah.
where you don't want to be guessing and messing with things. So now let's dive that even in more specific. Like, why would you want to work with an herbalist specifically on your fertility journey?
Absolutely, because you want to strategize your time, your money, your effort. You're putting so much effort into it, and by the time people who are in your community, they are 40 plus, most of them. People
Hmm.
I see, they are on the other end of their journey, where they have gone through so many years of heartache and failed cycles and whatever not. So you don't want to waste your time just guessing. And if you are not a practitioner, you don't know what to use, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want somebody who's trained in that. And that is why you want to go to a herbalist who can actually assess you medically, who can do all the, which we do assessment all online. As you know, I've sent you 2 forms as well. There are
Yeah.
2 forms that everybody fills. One is a constitutional form, one is a proper medical form. And then I also need to know all that information so that I can prescribe you, so that those herbs don't contradict any other medication that you might be taking.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make the best use of your money, your time, your resources, and go to a practitioner who has done it for, I've done it now for 11 years. So I know what works.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Because it's true. Like here, women, the women just go to the store and buy the things, right? So, first ladies, who are all of you who are popping in here, I see you all. Hello. Let's line up your questions as well. Like, I want to know where you are in your fertility journey. What questions do you have for Dr. Paul? Like, don't be shy to start popping your questions in here, okay? So, let's talk about the use of herbs for fertility. Um, just for fun and games, 'cause I know they want to know, what are some of your favorite herbs to use and why, or mixtures even?
Yeah. I'll just mention few herbs and how we use it with for somebody who's on their fertility journey. Okay, so there are certain very specific herbs which we call phytoestrogens that are used for fertility, that are also used for menopausal reasons, but because they have got phytoestrogens which will have that kind of impact, like estrogen kind of impact. They don't have estrogen in them, they are totally plant based, but they will affect your body in a way as if you have taken estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So they are useful in lots of different ways when we are trying to balance your hormones. If I'm trying to thicken somebody's lining for their IVF cycle, I will use specific herbs. If somebody is trying to balance their ovulation, I'm trying to give them herbs to ovulate better, to have better cervical mucus, right? So I will give them certain specific herbs. Like shatavari is one common herb. Sorry.
Sorry, so you mentioned something here, because sometimes women are put on prescription medications to
Yeah,
force ovulation, but there are actually herbal remedies that could do similar things. So
absolutely.
let's talk about that. So what are some of the prescriptions women are being put on to force ovulation versus how you would handle that?
Well, the main one is Clomid and letrozole that women are using, right? To this is to excite their ovaries so ovaries can produce more eggs. But the
Okay.
issue with that is if you are not priming the rest of your body, if you are not healthy otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
then even then the ovaries which are then excited will release the ovum. But if you don't have the quality of your lining there, if you don't have the rest of your health there, then you are still not going to conceive, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
sperm quality is not there, that is also required. But when we use herbs, as I mentioned before, synergy is a great word in plant medicine because every single plant has got so many chemicals in them and they work in synergy with each other. One will take something higher, one will bring it down, one will work it other way. So they work in tandem with each other. And that's how they have wonderful effect. Where, I mean, most of my patients, when they're taking herbal medicines, they say that now cervical mucus, they can clearly see it. The
Mm-hmm.
volume is much better, which means that they are having good hormones to produce their cervical mucus and then to have the ovulation, in a good way. So it is how we use those herbs, and you can use lots of various different herbs depending on what we are trying to achieve, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it is not just only that we want just the only the sex hormone levels. We may want the sugar balance to be there, blood sugar balance to be there. We may need some herbs to calm their nerves, their mind. I've
Mm-hmm.
given, for example, certain herbs to a patient of mine because she's so nervous, and when I did consultation with her, I could see her energy and
Wow.
how energy, because if you're so nervous, you are
Mm-hmm.
not going to be able to, it is counterproductive to your fertility. So it is
Yeah.
how you then give herbs according to all of this presentation what people are coming with.
Exactly. I love that. That's very, like, that's good for women to know because I know they go to the medical doctor. And again, if they're nervous, that's a psychotropic medication. And they tell you that that's safe during pregnancy. And I'm like,
No. Oh, psychotropic drugs and antidepressants are common, you know?
yeah, they're common. But there are other tools that we could use that are more conducive during the fertility journey, right? And I think that that's
Yeah.
important to understand as well. Now, somebody did ask, is that your phone? That's not mine.
It's my phone, but I can't do anything about it. It's going to
Okay.
sound unless somebody picks it up. So just bear with me.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Um, Now somebody was asking, how can you find a qualified herbalist in your area? So the first thing I want to tell you guys, if you missed it, she's based in the UK, but can work with you on an international basis. She can do your consults. She can read labs that you've gotten done. She can do everything on a telehealth basis.
Yeah.
But let's say somebody wanted to find someone in their local area. What are some of the criteria they should use for finding a good practitioner?
Yeah, so you should look for local herbalist associations. You should have local herbalist associations. I know I
Hmm.
have herbal practitioner friends in, for example, in the US. So you may also have Native American herbalist associations as well. So find those. So on the herbalist associations, then you know that those practitioners are properly qualified, right? And
Oh,
then you
okay.
can choose according to your area. Like we have listing of, I used to be on that list. I'm not a member of that association anymore. Like we have National Institute of Medical Herbalist here, and I
Okay.
used to be on their register, fully qualified, area wise. So you know who is closest to you if you want to go and see someone personally. So
Okay.
look for those, and then you should also look for if they have insurance. Like I have my insurance, indemnity liability insurance, which every practitioner needs to have so that they are safe. You can
Mm-hmm.
also ask a practitioner, for their certificates, what their qualification is. My qualification certificates are on my website, so anybody can go and see what I trained in. And I have BSc honors, I have MSc, I have Ayurvedic degree. So because it has to be transparent, and that's what then you can trust that person. And if you know that they are trained and qualified, is when you want to go and see them.
Okay. Exactly. Okay, good. So now, what about, okay, so this is really about egg quality, right? But there's some ways in which we know that egg quality has diminished or things like that. So like one lady says, um, well, she's asking if it's possible to get pregnant if she's in menopause, 3 years without seeing a period. But let's
Mm.
say a woman has had some duration of time of no period. How do we use herbs to rectify that kind of situation?
I think herbs by themselves may not be enough. It is dependent
Mm-hmm.
on the situation. Like I mentioned yesterday about the day before about a patient of mine who didn't have period for 8 years. We managed to bring back the period, but that was a person who was 27, 28 years old, right? In
Yeah.
menopause, it's a different situation. So you might still need like hormones. And in addition to hormones, you can also take herbs. So together, you may have a combination that your health also improves, and then you can also bring back period. You will never be able to continue with that period for long term. It will
Mm.
only come for very short term while you are trying to get pregnant, and you have to do everything fast enough for you to catch that moment.
Oh, interesting.
uh, but we cannot just bring back period once it has finished and bring back that it then continues for years. That doesn't happen.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. And then someone is saying, can you use a doctor of acupuncture who has herbs?
Yes, you can use TCM practitioners. Some practitioners are only therapists. Okay, so you have to have this distinction. Like I am a qualified Ayurvedic doctor. That means I can diagnose and I can prescribe herbal medicines.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are Ayurvedic therapists who cannot diagnose or prescribe. They can only do therapies, and they may be able to do lifestyle advice. So you have to find a TCM practitioner who is qualified Chinese herbal medicine practitioner. Then
Mm-hmm.
they will be able to give you TCM herbs. And yes, if you're doing acupuncture, then you should take herbs from the same practitioner because you're already using them.
Right.
Then take Chinese herbs.
Okay, fantastic. So now let's talk about herbs and ovulation, right? So in our last live, we had this conversation about all the unnecessary importance put on AMH. So ladies, if you missed the last live, I just want to bring this subject back. Your AMH is important, or not important as far as you can
Right.
see, doctor?
Okay, so your AMH is important figure to know, but it is not that important that you just keep thinking about it and making yourself really, really crazy. What you want to work on is health of your egg, because all you need is one egg. That's all you
Mm-hmm.
need, you know.
Right.
So it is about the quality of your egg and not necessarily how many numbers of eggs you have in the world.
Right. Okay, good. And so we are more concerned then about ovulation than we are simply AMH, you're right?
Absolutely. We are more concerned about ovulation. How good is your ovulation? How strictly can you chase it? Do you know your fertile window, day in, day out, in the sense that every month you know that you are ovulating, you are getting the signs of ovulation, and that you know exactly when that window is going to appear. That means your hormones are balanced. That means
Mhm.
that every marker in your body is working very consistently, because only then you're going to have ovulation bang on day 10 every cycle, right? If your
Right.
hormones are all over the place or your blood sugar is all over the place, then you're not going to have it may differ. Like one month you may have it on day 9, if next month you have it on day 12, it's a huge difference and you might completely miss that window.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Now, ladies are asking how they can contact you. So, in my bio, there's a link in my bio. She is running a 3-day egg quality reset challenge. So, you can check out the challenge there. It's $75 for the 3 days. It's self paced. So, if you want to head to the link in my bio, you can check that out. It doesn't mean that you have to buy it, but you can find out a little bit more about her website, everything. Um,
Yeah.
but her name is Dr. Ashish Paul. So I'm going to type her name here, and you can find her on Instagram, obviously. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to be here on a live. Um,
Yes.
so good. Make sure I got that spelled right. Good, I do. So I'm going to pin her name there so you can find her. But again, if you just go to the link in my bio, you'll see her 3-day egg quality reset challenge there. It'll also be in my stories afterwards here. But again, this is Dr. Ashish Paul. She is based out of the UK, but she can work on a telemedicine basis with any of you anywhere. So if you want to join the challenge, link in bio. I'll also have a poster up in my stories afterwards for you to learn more about it. She let me into the challenge so I can see she's got recipes going. She's got tips going.
You must have
It's
seen all
very
the
like, even though I'm
info.
not trying to have another baby, I'm like, this is good to know. um,
Yes.
Yes, and someone is asking, does she also prescribe the herbs? So, yeah, so for those of you who are popping in, she is a certified herbalist. She can diagnose and she can prescribe herbs. And she can do that on a telemedicine basis, on an international basis. So if you want to work with her, um, head to, like I said, the link in my bio. Again, you can do the challenge, not do the challenge, but you'll find her contact information there. Um, Okay, good. So let me make sure that I'm not missing any other questions. Do you often work with the woman's partner to
Yes.
for herbs for his sperm health? So let's talk about this, herbs and sperm health, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about that egg, is it?
No, it's not. We need egg and we need the sperm. Absolutely. I give medicines and prescribe medicines for men's health as well. I have got few patients right now. One couple who is pregnant, as I said, so they are delivering this month. And then I've got a couple of other men we are working on their health. It has already improved quite a bit from where we started from. But yes, we work on sperm numbers because sperm health is so crucial and nobody is talking about sperm health. Nobody's even improving sperm health. I want to tear my hair apart. It's just so crazy, seriously. But yes, I do. Short
Okay.
answer, I do.
Yeah, so she's quite passionate about it. So if you have a man and you want to get him on some herbs, let's do it. Um, so somebody was saying prescribe hormone therapy or letrozole. So we talked about that earlier, but we can definitely revisit it. Um, so doctors are prescribing this for what reason, and what is your solution to it?
So I would give you herbs, and I would also work on your diet and nutrition, on your lifestyle, because that is hugely crucial. We might do intermittent fasting so that we can boost your ovulation. We might do other certain foods so that we can boost ovulation. And then there are lifestyle practices as well. And then there are herbs also. So we work with all of that,
Mm-hmm.
which is much better, longer sustaining solution rather than just taking letrozole. Because remember, clomid and letrozole ideally should only be given for 2 or 3 cycles, right?
Okay.
So if you have taken it for 2 or 3 cycles, continuous cycles, after that, there should be a 6 months gap, because
Mm.
otherwise you are exciting ovaries too much. And then it is not good for the ovaries. Many women can have what we call OHSS, which is ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. So which is that ovaries become too inflamed, they become bigger, and then yeah, it's we don't want that situation.
Oh,
uh,
wow.
so that's how herbs can be more useful.
Fantastic. Okay, that's really good to know. So somebody says, wow, she's gone through 9 IVF cycles. Any herbs that would help to reset after so many cycles?
Well, you need a consultation. I would not be
Mhm.
prescribing anything generic. So somebody who has gone through 9 cycles of IVF, you need a lot more help. But if it hasn't worked yet, then we need to definitely have a consultation, and maybe your partner also needs herbs.
Yeah, yeah, it seems that way. So, Karuna, who asked that, again, if you want to pop over into the link in my bio,
Yeah,
you will find that there's a link for her egg quality reset challenge. You can join that. It's a self-paced, very informative challenge where you're getting recipes and daily guidance from her. And you can do that, but you'll also have her contact information there if you want to book a consult, which for somebody that, as she said, that's been through that much, you might want to dive a little bit deeper.
yeah,
Um, so now Creative Solutions says, what do you think about ubiquinol? Is that natural also? We
no.
both take it to improve egg and sperm health.
Ubiquinol is a synthetic supplement. You know, it's an antioxidant, used as an antioxidant. I
Mhm.
give better antioxidants, which are herbal antioxidants, and I do give lot many more solutions. If you take a consultation, we talk about all the foods that you can take, which are better antioxidant. Because remember, any chemical that you're taking, it is only one single chemical that you are taking. It is only working on one single pathway. We have got millions of pathways in our system. When we take foods, when we take herbs, they work on all those pathways together, or many more pathways rather than one single chemical. One single chemical is never going to be superior than a herb or than a food, right?
Right,
So, but we do need to know, based on your history and everything, that what can you eat, how can you make it better, and then herbs that you take. But you can take it. If you're taking it, that's fine, but it is not like, it is not the best thing that you can take.
right. So I'm getting the idea here too, which is very common in America, right? If we want to run to our local health food store because we heard of wild yam, or we want to take our folate or whatever, like there's a million things, that we want to run off and buy the one thing.
Yeah,
But the message that I'm getting from you is this has to be a holistic approach, right? Like, because each herb is causing some sort of reaction of increasing, decreasing, or balancing something.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing, you could be fixing one thing, hurting something else, or not doing anything worthwhile. Because also, what are we talking about when we look at the quality of a lot of these herbs by the time they've made it to the store?
Absolutely, absolutely. Which is also the other thing. So there are so many things. I mean, we don't want to digress completely about herbs, but there are so many things, and that is why just know this, that no single chemical that you can take will ever give you health fully. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you will need to work on your health in terms of your diet, in terms of your lifestyle, in terms of your gut health. Just imagine you're taking the best quality supplement. Okay, there are supplements which are £50 a month, £100 a month, £200 a month that you might be taking,
Mm-hmm.
and you are actually constipated. So that £200 is a waste if your gut is not healthy.
Right.
Yes, which is why the importance of holistic health. If you are taking, if you do want to take something, then do go and see a practitioner, because they can advise you in a much better way. Yeah,
Right.
when I advise my patients, I give so many lifestyle changes advices. suggestions, and I give all practical solutions so that we can actually have your health. You can't skip your foundational health. The
Okay.
foundations of your health is gut health, your sleep, your habits, your daily habits is your foundation, and you cannot take a supplement for that. Any supplement, no supplement can supplement your health. You know, you have to work on your health first, and then supplement from time to time, and
Right.
then short term.
So this is fantastic. So let's dive a little bit into what are some foundational things women can do. Like if they cannot afford to run off and buy all the herbs, but there are practical things that they could just do that would drastically improve their health alone. Let's tackle some of those. What are some of those things?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is gut health. I mean, we spoke about it on Monday as well.
Mm-hmm.
Gut health, sleep health, right? How do you sleep? There is also sexual health, which is very, very important here. When you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to get pregnant, sexual health and sexual habits are very important. How you are doing things, literally how you're doing things, it matters. And
Well,
then
let's
we
not
have
gloss over that. What do you
oh,
mean?
we need more orgasms, because that's what creates the results, for
Oh, so
both
we're
men
saying
and
if we're
women.
doing it and everybody's bored, then
No, we want to keep it juicy, we want to keep it, fluid, because that's what gives you hormones. The more orgasmic you are, the more wonderful hormones you create, bonding hormones, oxytocin, and all other, stress relieving hormones you create. So
yeah.
these are the
Well,
few things.
listen, that's so functional because they lay down to have the sex guy. Because you know, and I know, they're trying to have the babies. They're over 40. It's getting to be a job. It's not necessarily exciting. So let's give these ladies some tips on how to improve the orgasm, because I understand from other practitioners that is the mechanism. It's there for a reason, and it's going to help move that sperm along, right?
Absolutely.
So
Well,
let's give some tips.
we have the studies to prove that we need wonderful orgasms for both men and women, because at that time you release the best quality sperm and best quality egg,
Mm,
right? It makes sense. Nature has made it that way. So
yeah.
what we want to do is, one of the tips is to how to bond together better, because what it becomes is becomes a chore after you have been tracking your cycle. It's like, okay, we got to do it today, and it's like you're not in mood, and it becomes like a big flower to do.
Mm,
I recommend doing massaging each other, for
mm,
couples to massage each other. It's such a beautiful thing to do, and also to slow down things. So you want to keep half a day aside where you maybe watch a movie together, you do something, cook together, whatever is your activity. You hike together, you come back, then you spend time with each other, you massage each other, especially your private part, you massage for each other. And that's
mhm.
how you lead into sex, so that the sex then becomes not a chore, but it is something that is beautiful, and you are then more bonded and connected together. That is what is going to produce the result. And I
Yeah.
know that is the case with we have spoken about it, Chia, so I know, with you something like that happened, and I know it happens with other women. When you have been away from each other, you come
Mhm.
back together, and hormones are, attraction is there. That's when you get the thing.
Yes, and what she's referring to is in my own personal journey is that I was away from my fiance for some weeks because my father was in the hospital and he wound up passing away quite unexpectedly. So by time I got home, it was that I'm so relieved to be home. I'm so happy to be with him. And we did the do. And that's why I know exactly when I got pregnant, because I hadn't been with him. But it was just such a release. It really was. It wasn't even a passionate time, but it was a loving and a caring and just, I don't know. And I
Yeah.
conceived Naomi. But I know that you've mentioned that as well, that sometimes you just have to separate the partners, right? So that
Yeah.
then they want to see each other again.
I also want to mention here very briefly, because this is something that may be important in terms of men's health, because men do have, if they have issues related to how their sexual habits are.
Mm.
So when we separate, that also means that you cannot do it on your own either. You have to be completely kind of celibate for that time, and then you connect back together. And you will see, obviously you will see that there will be more hormones pumping, right? There is more
Mm-hmm.
rush through your nerves. So that is how it affects you. So take that time, give yourself a couple of months away from each other, or even if you're in the same house without kind of no touching. So give that a go and see how that pans out. But I know from my experience that is a great practice,
Mm-hmm.
because I also, recommend semen retention to men. So that is also another practice that I teach and I prescribe to sometimes,
What's
which is
semen retention?
a tantra practice. Semen retention is when you don't release the semen,
Mm.
so you don't ejaculate. So you get yourself to that level and then you calm yourself again, and then you again get yourself and it's definitely a practice, and it
Yeah.
shows the character of the man, how much in control the man is,
Okay.
but that produces the result. It produces results for men also, in terms of how they can build their body, how can they build their stamina, how can they build their mental stamina. It's a huge wonderful practice of semen retention.
Wow. That's learn something new every time I talk to you. Every time I'm like, oh wow. All right. So, here's a good one. So Jerry says, I have high FSH. What can I do? Please help.
Yeah, we need to first find out, why do you have high FSH? What else is going on with your health? Is gut health an issue? Is PCOS an issue? Are you
Mm-hmm.
ovulating? Because if you're not ovulating, then most of the time FSH is high, or FSH is high when you have PCOS,
Mm-hmm.
or tendency towards PCOS, or if your weight is excessive and you're not ovulating, then also so we got to find out why FSH is higher, because it
Okay.
is not, it is higher because there is some imbalance there, and then we can work on it in terms of diet, nutrition, lifestyle changes, and herbs as well. Remember, any medication that you take, whether it is chemical medication or herbal medication, again, it cannot do the job for you doing the right things in your lifestyle. Okay.
Right. That's
So you
right.
have to do those lifestyle things as well. If weight is an issue, you have to then do certain things so that weight is healthier weight, so that FSH can reduce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's a very complete answer. I hope that helps. Someone is asking me, did I have to track my cycle? Did I ever become irregular at some point, like having signs of perimenopause before I conceived my baby? So really fast, ladies, the beauty of my story is my conception was a total surprise. It was not something that I was planning for. I tracked my menstrual cycle because I was a victim of cramps. And so I always liked to know when my period was coming, just so I could predict, travel plans, things like that. But I wasn't tracking it for fertility purposes at all.
Mm.
My period was regular, and it was shorter, though. Like with age, it becomes shorter and a little less red, but it was on time.
Yeah.
But my pregnancy was a total surprise. But I was I've never been overweight, right? I exercise regularly. I'm happy. I sleep. Like those foundational things that she talks
Yeah.
about. Like I have regular bowel movements every day. I'm pooping every day.
Yeah.
I'm not bloated. I'm not a gassy person. I don't fart a lot. So I have these basic things that have been in for my entire life that I think contributed to me being fertile. But it was never anything that I went out of my way to do. I conceived naturally at 45. I had a miscarriage then at 6 weeks. It was determined my progesterone was low. It was a blighted ovum. Like it was just a non-viable pregnancy.
Yeah.
But then I conceived again naturally 10 months later without any major lifestyle changes. In fact, I conceived through grief, actually. So, but I
Yeah.
think the fact that all the things that I've done right over my life made it so that I'm fertile into my 40s. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, good. Somebody who was in our last live talked when we were talking about gut health. You mentioned one of the basic things for gut health is eating your meals at a regular time each day. And the lady wants to know, what is the science behind that recommendation opposed to just eating intuitively when you're hungry?
No, because okay, so
Yeah.
it may be a long answer, but first is, you need to know whether that intuitively hungry that you are, whether it truly is, or whether it is something which is out of balance and you feeling hungry at all different times, right?
Hmm.
When we are very healthy, our circadian rhythm is tied with the sun. So we move with the sun. We wake up with the sun, we go to sleep with the sun. That's how our cycle is. We don't go with the moon cycle, we go with the sun cycle. And the reason for strict meal habits is because of the gastric juices that you get, so that you can make the best use of what you are eating. Yeah. So breakfast time, lunchtime that we have between 12 and 2, you have the maximum release of gastric juices. So if you don't eat at that time, you're going to have a lot of wind, a lot of gas, and plus you're going to have a situation where you may end up with ulcers, because body needs something to eat. Your stomach needs something to digest. And the acid then starts to eat its own lining. Yeah. And after 4 o'clock, or about 3, 4, or 5 o'clock, whatever you eat after 5 o'clock, it is digested 50% less. Okay. So you need to be very, very on time with what you're eating. In the beginning, if you feel that, okay, I'm not hungry, that is purely because you're not doing it yet. Yeah. Like so many people say to me, oh, I don't feel hungry in the morning. And I'm like, okay, do 2 days fasting. You will be hungry in the morning, right? You're not hungry in the morning because you're eating far too late at night. And that has been your system for so long. So when you are retraining your body and your systems, you have to retrain it that way. And then you will find, if you're eating at this strict meal times, you will find that you will be hungry 2, 3 hours later. If you are not, then something is not good with your gut.
Okay. So I think, again, too, we have to put this in a perspective of, we're talking about fertility and not other health matters. Like, there could be other dietary protocols, I'm assuming, for other health conditions, like you even mentioned before. If someone is
Yes.
overweight, or there could be other things where you're like, yeah, you need to fast, or you need 2 meals a day for this period of time. So I also think we should clarify that this isn't a generic cover-all answer for every circumstance in life either, right? It would be individual.
No, I mean, all we are discussing here, it's generic. Okay. So
Yeah.
please use your discernment. But as I always say, go and find a practitioner. If you have a health issue, or if you don't understand how this will work for you, or that what I'm saying, it doesn't make sense to you, then book a consultation, because that's when we can do a deep dive and really talk about your specific health, rather than generically me talking about principles of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, so let's talk about really fast your egg quality reset, right? Because I think some ladies can get a little bit more education with that. So Dr. Paul has a 3-day egg quality reset. It's self-paced, so it's not like, oh, you have to sign up for a specific 3 days. Can you talk a little bit about how this challenge might help some of these ladies?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a challenge earlier a few months ago, which was 7 days challenge, and then I realized that 7 days is also maybe long for some people. So
Mm-hmm.
I've reduced it to now 3 days. So 3 days, there are three meals in there for over those 3 days, and those meals have a certain vibe or certain theme to it. And there are lifestyle changes, there are breathwork trainings that are in there. The idea is to learn those habits and to stick with those schedules. Once you have done it for 3 days, you can repeat it for next three, and the next three, and the next three. And my idea with that is that so many people don't know what to eat. So if you can learn what kind of those, different foods that we have mentioned in that, in the WhatsApp group, you can choose, and you can also choose your own time. I wanted to give more flexibility to women, with they don't have to wait for me to answer anything. So all the answers are already in there, and they
Mm-hmm.
can still ask further questions, clarifying questions in the group, and I will answer in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I wanted to give it to everybody.
Okay, great. So ladies, if you want to just be proactive on improving the quality of your eggs, you can go to my link in bio, and you'll see there that I have an egg quality reset, a link to the egg quality reset. It's $75 for the 3 days. If any ladies here are members of my private community, there's been so many ladies popping through, I haven't noticed, but ladies in my private Pregnancy Over 40 community, you'll get a separate link that is 50% off for you guys. Um, Seem to be in my community, ladies. But anyway, it's just something that you can do ahead of the holidays, so you know what to eat, and you're not being gluttonous, because here in America, we also have Thanksgiving coming up. And so it's just from Thanksgiving to Christmas, it's a mess. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all the parties, and you guys are not going to be eating right and doing all the right things. So
Yeah.
I think this 3-day challenge is an opportunity for you to just take a little bit more control so that things don't go off the rails on your fertility journey. Again, the link to that is in my bio. So now here's another question. We've had a couple of ladies asking about progesterone. So one, I'm going to read you two questions. How
Yep.
much does progesterone affect getting pregnant? And
Mm-hmm.
then what are your thoughts on increasing progesterone with herbs?
Yeah.
A friend is using some
So
topical to increase hers. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So progesterone doesn't help you to get pregnant. Progesterone maintains the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So for you to get pregnant, you need ovulation. For that, you need more estrogen than progesterone. So progesterone is once you have the implantation is when then progesterone is helpful. That's actually how progesterone is released to then maintain that pregnancy. So you can increase it beforehand. You can use herbs, phytoestrogenic herbs. You can use topical applications as well, and you can eat herbs. Eating is much better because we can give very high dose of herbs for you to take so that you have great quality ovulation. That's where you are going to get the level of progesterone what is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Also, again, with that, again, my basic thing still comes back. It is if you have great gut health, if you have got liver health, your system is working really well, your progesterone should not leach out of your system. The reason that it is not where it should be, one, that your ovulation is not strong enough, because of which progesterone levels are not there where they should be, or that it is leaching out of your system, and that's how it is not there where it should be.
What would cause progesterone to leach out of your system?
If your gut is not healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
your gut is not healthy, it is going out of your system. You are actually excreting it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you don't have enough in your bloodstream.
All right.
For example, women who have, or people who have leaky gut, for example, right? They don't absorb other nutrients either. So they will not have enough hormones either, because those hormones will pass out.
That makes sense. Okay. Now, Billion Dollar Baby Gang says, blood sugar makes me hungry. She's a pre-diabetic and hypothyroid. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it will make you hungry, and that's why you need very consistent meal times, because that's
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that is going to help you. Very consistent meal times. You might also need in between meals, you might also need some snack times, but you need all these things to be very healthy. And you need slow release sugar foods, lots of nuts, and lots of fruits and nuts and mixture of those, and also nut oils, which then help to calm down the spikes that you're getting and the lows that you get. You need to maintain that. But it is a pre-diabetic condition, and you can use herbs for that 100%.
Okay, great. So listen, ladies, if any of you want a consultation with Dr. Paul, she is in the UK, but she operates on a telemedicine basis, right? So I have said already, but for those of you who are just popping in, you can find a link to her 3-day egg quality reset challenge in my bio. You can participate in that challenge or not, but there you'll find her contact info. I also have her name pinned here. So if you just search her name in Instagram, you'll find her profile is Ashish Veda. You can DM her. There's a million ways to find this lady. She's not difficult to find, but she can work with you on an international basis.
Absolutely.
Prestige One Pearl says, it's great to be here. Isn't it great to be here? I love going live.
Yeah.
Okay, yay. Now, this is a good question. What do you do if you're not ovulating?
Yeah, we need to find out either your insulin resistance is high, or your testosterone levels are high, or there is something else going on. So we need to find that out. And
Mm-hmm.
then we need to correct it by changing diet. You can simply change your diet and actually start ovulating.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need herbs, but you need that consistency, and you need a practitioner who can then guide you to do it properly.
Great. So, not ovulating. Is this something that you commonly see with patients?
No, unless you have PCOS. PCOS is one of the conditions in which you won't be ovulating, or
Mm-hmm.
if you have insulin resistance, high insulin resistance. But if you have high insulin resistance, that already is kind of PCOS kind of scenario, right? You may
Right.
not have, because polycystic ovarian syndrome is a huge syndrome from one side to the other. You could be on the very milder side and have very mild symptoms or some symptoms, not all of them, or you could be very severe on the complete severe side and have all the symptoms. So it depends. But generally, if you're not ovulating, there it means that you don't have ovulation hormones, which means that some other hormones are high enough. And
Mm-hmm.
insulin resistance and testosterone are the two which are generally very high, because of which then estrogen doesn't become high enough to give you ovulation.
Okay. So what do you do to determine that? Like, is that blood work or?
Yeah, you need to check blood test. You need to go for a blood test to check insulin resistance, and you can also check testosterone levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. So let's see. I'm making sure that I'm not missing any questions. So many ladies are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, and I love to answer questions.
Yeah, yeah. I want to help you ladies get your babies. Like motherhood is just such a beautiful thing. And I know some of you may already be moms, but now you're like, ooh, I still want to do it again. I want one more. I got a new man. We want another one. Or some of you are still hoping. Like
Yeah.
being a mom has just been the best experience for me. And I really want you ladies to have your babies. So whatever I can do to help. So this is a good one. So Kat is asking, what if you're ovulating every month but still not pregnant?
Yeah, then other things need to be checked, mainly sperm health. Because if egg is there, then we need to check whether sperm is there. Then we need to check whether they're meeting at the right time. Then we need to check other things, what is going on with your health overall. So there are so many factors. Fertility is complex
Yeah.
event. Also, that window of fertility literally is 48 hours every month. So it is a very, very short window for women and couples to get pregnant. So yeah, all of those things need to be looked at.
Yes, yes, exactly. Um, Someone says, can I still get pregnant at 42? Well, ma'am, did you know that you're on a live with a lady that got pregnant at 46?
Absolutely, of
Moving
course.
on. Oh gosh, you guys are so funny. Yeah, you need to like and subscribe and follow my page. It is totally possible. Now, Prestige One is asking, I need you to be more specific with this question because you're like herbs, cumin, turmeric, right? But I don't know
Yeah.
what you're asking about that. So let's get more specific with your question here. Um, Again, I just want to let you ladies know that even though Ashish is in the UK, she can prescribe and work with you on a telehealth basis. So if you want to book a consultation with her, I've pinned her name here so you can search for her. Her profile says Ashish Veda. You'll recognize her face. You can DM her or you can join the 3-day Equality Reset Challenge, which I'm going to have a poster to that in the stories after this. It's also already in my link in bio. So, I want you to know that this is she's not difficult to find. I do recommend that you jump into the Equality Reset Challenge. It's 3 days. It's self-paced. It's only $75 for ladies who are in my community, my private pregnancy over 40 community, which I also advise that you join that just for the support and the
Yeah.
love. She's giving it 50% off to you ladies there, but it's only 3 days. So um, I don't know why you wouldn't invest that because it seems you have a lot of questions. You'd have access to her there.
Yeah.
Um, but the main thing is, ladies, it seems to me if you have signs of hormonal imbalances, don't go off buying the one-off herbs, right? So what are some signs of hormonal imbalance? When should they be looking for someone's help like you?
Um, Yeah, I mean, basically, if other things are not working out, and although I do say that you want to start from herbs, anytime you want to, we are here talking about only fertility, but for any health issue, the first thing you should start from is find a practitioner, a holistic practitioner, go and get yourself assessed and get some herbs prescribed. Why? Because it is non-invasive. They work very gently with you. And even if something has just started, don't delay things. And also that, okay, this is fine for now, or I will do it in, I don't know, a few days or few weeks or few months time. Don't do that. And
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're trying to get pregnant over 40, you don't really have time to waste. You don't want to delay. And you definitely don't want to do this on your own. 40 plus, you don't want to do this on your own, because we're already racing against time, and we want to optimize every single minute that you have, which
Mm-hmm.
is actually one of the other reasons why I made the challenge for 3 days. I thought, if you can learn for 3 days, because anybody can set those 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, set for yourself, and then learn it in your own time, and then utilize that information. They're very, very simple steps. But yeah, what was the question? What was the question? I
Well,
lost my track.
well, I was talking about, hormonal imbalances and what are
Yeah.
some of the signs, right? That women might recognize that they need to do something about.
To be very honest here, anything could be a hormonal imbalance. Okay. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not sleeping well, if you have headaches, if you're putting on weight, if you're losing weight, if your skin has some rashes, your skin is itching a little bit, that could be hormonal imbalance. If you're feeling extra hungry, that could be hormonal imbalance. If you're not feeling hungry at all, that could be hormonal, because
Wow.
we have hormones involved in every single reaction of our body. So
Yeah.
any of those could be hormonal imbalance. I think what is more relevant here is sex hormone imbalance, when we talk
Okay.
about, which is estrogen progesterone imbalance, or LH and FSH, all those hormones. But it
Mm-hmm.
is all linked, it is all connected to every other hormone and every other system of your body as well. Anything that is not usual for you, that would be the first sign to look out for. Okay, my sleep doesn't seem as much, or for last week or 2 weeks I haven't slept very well. So see whether you can compensate that by sleeping. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can't, then there is something else going on. Same about gut health. If you are not digesting very well, or you went toilet and then your poo is not what it generally is, there is a little more smell to it, there is a little more, I don't know, it's more runny, for example. These are all signs. You just
Yeah.
got to keep looking. There is a sign everywhere.
The signs are everywhere. I think we're so used, because life is just so hard, that there's
Yeah.
out points everywhere. Like, your poop is not the same every day. We're not eating the same things. And then we go on a health kick. Well, this week I'm going to just eat this. And this week I'm going to eat some salad to be more healthy. But then I went to a party this week. And so
Yeah,
it's like,
it is. Absolutely. That's why I'm sharing this, because everybody talks about hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalance could be, if you're not sleeping well, that is a hormonal imbalance. Your hormones, one, that it's actually a very vicious cycle if you're not sleeping well.
mm-hmm.
So, but most people don't have an idea of what wellness means. That's also another thing.
Yeah.
You don't know how deep sleep really feels like. You don't know how really rested, how really feels for your body and your mind, because
Yes.
we are so used to doing so many things. So that is also another thing to know, that what are the real signs? When am I really properly healthy? Like,
Wow.
you and I, who are very, very fit people, we may know if anything is out of balance, even 1 degree, I know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm always healthy. But most people are not. They already are not sleeping well. So even if another 2 days they haven't slept well, it doesn't matter, because they already are not sleeping well. So that is also the issue.
And I really want to piggyback on that, because, lately I've had an increase in headaches, right? Like, I'm into, it's like one, usually I can get a headache around my period, but then there's like been an additional headache in the month, not associated with my period. And I have
Yeah,
been tracking my hormones. It's a fertility app, an ovulation tracker, but it's also a menopause tracker. So it's
yeah,
tracking my FSH, LH, PDG, and E3G. And only because of this did I notice that my headaches were commensurate with my spike in progesterone that was
right.
coming with the confirmation of ovulation. But I couldn't figure it out. We would
Yeah,
never figure that out
yeah,
without
yeah,
some sort of regular, like, looking at what's happening with your hormones. I don't know why a spike in progesterone is giving me a headache. When I do my consult with you,
we'll
I'll
find out.
submit you the information, and maybe there's something else that's dropped. Like, maybe there's something else that's out, right?
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
do want to encourage ladies to be more in tune, especially at this age.
yeah,
If there are tools where you can be regularly looking at some things so you can give the information to your provider, I think that that's very important. I would never have spotted that headache was commensurate with that hormone.
yeah, yeah. But that's,
um,
again, it's a matter of really closely fine tuning and listening to your body,
mhm.
constantly.
That's right. So, very interesting here. Somebody is asking a question, which I think is fair. So, as we wrap up, right, like we've talked a lot about herbs, but she's like, well, what herbs? So, what herbs do you like to use for, improving ovulation, improving egg health? Again, ladies, don't go running off to the store to buy it because it's probably not going to be the right dosage or anything, but
Yeah.
for
So
fun.
I I I have produced two guides which talks about the herbs that are commonly used. They are not the only herbs that I use. One guide is for herbal teas that you want to take. So these are common kitchen herbs that you can take. Another one is the 10 herbs that you can get a copy of, and you will find properly where I have written how do I prescribe those herbs. But I am not just only using those herbs, and the issue and the reason we I don't talk about specific any single herb like shatavari or ashwagandha or all those herbs or cumin seed or whatever else is because it is so subjective to the person that we are giving it to.
Mm-hmm.
And the some of the herbs that I'm using or medicines that I use, they are classical Ayurvedic preparation, which has got 10 herbs in it. You
Mm-hmm.
would never have heard names of any of those herbs, and they
Right.
are not available in a separate combination as such. So again, because I want to really drive this point, really make it a highlighted point that you want to go and find a practitioner and get herbs prescribed for you. You don't want to use herbs generically. Even if you want to use peppermint tea for yourself, peppermint actually is not suitable for everybody. If you have a certain body mind type, peppermint is not good for you. So that is
Mm-hmm.
why you want to find a practitioner, have a consultation, and then okay, because then we can talk about, according to your body mind constitution, this herb is not useful for you. You can only take it in certain moderation. And by the way, when you will do the consultation with me and I send you the food sheet, it has all those herbs listed as well, which are then suitable for you or not
Okay.
suitable for you, right?
So
So
wait, when
that
they
is
do,
why,
this is not part of the 3-day challenge.
no,
This
no, no. This is, I'm
consult. So
talking
if they
about
get a
you.
consultation. Hmm.
I'm talking about you as well, in
Okay.
particular, when you are going to have a consultation, or
Okay.
anybody else who is going to have a consultation, because herbs are mentioned on that sheet as well, which people
Okay.
get, my patients get. But the idea is this: look, when you're only thinking, what herb can I use? It's a very symptomatic relief. It's a symptom. You're just
Hmm.
thinking very symptomatically, which is a very modern way of thinking.
Right.
Whereas what you want to think is, what imbalance do I have? How can I go deeper into my foundational health and then get those herbs recommended and prescribed by a practitioner? Then you know properly how to use those herbs. Then you can keep taking them, you know?
Fantastic. I think that that's a simple enough instruction, ladies. So if they were to participate in the 3-day challenge, this is somebody kind of asking me this. Is
So,
there any information about herbs in this challenge?
no.
No. Okay. This
No.
herb is about diet, food, breath work, foundational type things. But
Yes.
you can book a consult, and the fee that you pay for this challenge can be applied toward the consult, right?
That's right. So the challenge of the price that you're paying towards the challenge, if you then book the consultation, that price will be taken off.
Here you
If you
go.
paid $75, $75 will be taken off. If you pay half of that will be taken off the consultation.
Fantastic. So we are coming up on the end of the live. I just want to ask one more question. Let me make sure. I mean, not ask. I don't want to ask one more question. I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Someone wants to know, what does runny stool mean for fertility?
Runny stool means that your gut is leaky. Anytime you have runny stool means that there is an infection.
Okay, that's that. So it means you need to
So
get your
it's
gut
not
health.
good. It's
Yeah.
not good scenario. Yeah. You don't want to have runny stools. You want to have properly formed stools. Um, and healthy stools, there is a test to test healthy stools as well in Ayurveda. How do you test your stools?
Mm,
But runny stools are not good.
okay, very good. So let's see. Is it advisable to do intermittent fasting every day as a trying to conceive woman? I do this often and I'm seeing the changes with my period and ovulation.
No, I would not advise intermittent fasting every day. How
Okay.
do you even do it every day?
Hmm.
Is my question. No, no.
I think here, at least in the US, like, so we have these keto diets, right?
Yeah.
So you maybe eat one meal a day and you fast. It's like you don't eat for 14 hours and then you eat. So I think it's like 1, 2 meals a day or something.
Yeah.
Prestige Pearl, if you want to clarify what does intermittent fasting mean to you, so she's exactly clear. Before we end off, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
You can also freeze your eggs. Let me see. There's the ladies are now talking to each other in here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's lovely.
somebody got the moral of the story. So Creative Solutions, hey girl, she says, Dr. Paul said, invest in your health in many ways. This is not a DIY situation. Pregnancy after 40 is not a DIY situation.
No.
That is when you're 28, 29, okay, we'll take your time and dilly dally if you so choose. But at this age, y'all, the clock is literally ticking.
I also just want to quickly mention that the reason you want to invest in your health post 40 is because remember, soon enough you are heading towards menopause. You want to make sure that you are healthy and strong enough so that you can tackle that. Because anybody who's getting pregnant after 40, 42, 43, 44, soon enough menopause is going to come when you're going to have a toddler, like Chia
Mm-hmm.
has one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you definitely want to have a great health because otherwise it is a lot to take on that gone through from IVF, all those hormones and everything, because many of you might be going through IVF, and then you conceive, then you have postpartum time, and then straight you're going into menopause or perimenopause. So
Mm-hmm.
that is why investment in your health, and I don't give any shortcuts, which is why I don't mention names of the herbs either, and that's not to hide anything. Anybody can
Yeah.
find all those herbs online. I just want to give proper information the right way.
Okay. And I think that that's a great way to just kind of wrap this up. And I appreciate that you are saying this. This is a long haul game.
Yeah.
It is true. Like, and you don't know how your pregnancy is going to go. So this is all about like lifestyle. I had an easy pregnancy, which is great. I gained 20 something pounds, I lost the weight easily, but I had an emergency C-section. I live in a 3-story house. I do not have a grandmother here to help me. I don't have any family. You have to be physically equipped. And now I have a toddler and she's fast and I have to run and chase her. Not necessarily for fun, but to keep her from running into the street. She's throwing a tantrum. You've got to be able to bend over and pick your
Yeah,
flailing baby up off the floor. You have to be
I
able to
know.
stay up all night. If your baby is sick, you have to have back strength. Like, you really have to think beyond just getting pregnant. And in fact, as far as a visualization and goal setting, you have to look at yourself with your baby through the stages and imagine what that looks like and start being proactive with that. It is not easy. And if you have a stressful career and a stressful job
Yeah,
like you guys, I'm going to tell you something. The fact that my man is European and has a different mindset about birth and fertility, he didn't expect me to work while I was pregnant. Does your man expect you to get up and go to work and do a 9 to 5 and all the things and cook and clean? You need to work it out. You need to work it out because you don't know how much work this really is. And so I
yeah.
like that you
And it's
mentioned,
and
yeah.
it's even harder if you have twins like me.
Yeah, and the possibility is increased with age. The possibility with twins is increased with age. So you have to be prepared for any and all of this. And it isn't about what herb can I take just to get a baby. It's about what lifestyle I can adopt to be healthy when I do get the baby and the baby is here.
Absolutely.
I thank you for bringing that because that's a whole nother live and dialogue and conversation here. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, we want you ladies to have your babies. Um, yeah, her twins are 17 now, right?
17 and a half, almost 18. But yeah, I think we should do just share our life stories of me getting pregnant with twins and your story. I think we should do a separate live for that.
Yes.
But yes, and that is why, again, investing in your health is a long-term game. And you have to do that because otherwise, I know this as a mother. Even if you're sick, you have to do your things with your children. You just cannot sit down and think that nobody is going to do it. And that is why mothers especially have to be healthy, which
You
is
have to
one of
be
my other passions. That's why I want women to be so healthy.
right. Because I'm going to tell you, your baby doesn't care if you have food poisoning. I was I I want you guys to visualize being nauseous
Oh
as
my
all
God.
get out and having somebody suck on your breast, lay across your belly and suck on your breast. Lord have mercy. Yes. So story time. Somebody wants to know really fast, how old were you when you had your twins?
I was 34 and I
Yes.
delivered when I was 35.
There you go. Okay, ladies, I think we could carry on with this forever, but we are past our hour. I want to respect Dr. Paul's time. It's actually evening for her in the UK. If you want to work with her, just go ahead to the link in my bio. You'll find where it says 3-day egg challenge reset. You'll find that there. You can reach out to her there. I'm also going to post it in my stories when we get off. I've tagged her name, Ashish Paul, so you can follow her. She does lives all the time on TikTok as well. So with that, I wish you guys a very good Wednesday hump day. And let's just make this the start of healthy living for longevity, okay?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you
ladies, for
so
being
much.
here. Bye.